Yo, 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 what is up? Peace and riches, blessings. Sending you love, sending you good vibes. Welcome back to the Burnellwashburn podcast. It's a beautiful day to be alive. I'm feeling so blessed, feeling tapped into the magic. I had amazing dreams last night, or this morning rather. Woke up feeling extraordinary, just in such a good mood today. It's sunny, it's nice. I'm about to go hiking. I just got done recording a song. Had a beautiful journaling session this morning. Life is good. So I wanted to come on here real quick and show you a little sneak preview, world premiere of one of my new songs that means a lot to me, and tell you the story behind the song. So it basically wrote itself. It was born out of universal magic, serendipity, synchronicity, synergy. It's quite beautiful how this all came to be. I've been on a deep spiritual journey for the last 10 years, and it's funny how when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. I recently, over the last year or so, became ready for the teachings of Ram Dass, and I started really taking to his wisdom, being present, being here now, realizing that all of us are one and everyone is connected, and really just started falling in love with his teachings. And other spiritual teachers were preaching the same message, so I knew it's what my soul needed to hear, because every time I opened up a podcast or a YouTube, or a book, some type of version of this message would come through of just be here now, be present. And then on the night that Ram Dass passed away, I had the most profound spiritual dream, one of the most profound dreams that I've ever had. We were driving towards the ocean. As soon as the Pacific came into view, I looked over at Fritzo and I said, "Yo, this is exactly like how the ocean looks in my dreams." And he says, "Maybe we are dreaming." Next thing I know, I'm back in my bed, and I wasn't sure if I was still dreaming or not. Felt really lucid. And Ram Dass is hovering above my bed, 5 feet in the air, in lotus position, looking fully detailed like he was in real life, but also holographic, kind of like how Yoda comes back in Star Wars after he dies. He then begins to speak to me telepathically, and he says, "Everyone is you. Everyone is you." And then he turns into millions upon millions of clones of himself, all hovering in lotus position, levitating in every direction as far as the eye could see. And he says, "Everyone is you. Everyone is a mirror. You are everyone." I woke up from that dream feeling different than I've ever felt before, feeling more in tune, more connected, and more aware of the magic that occurs in this universe every day. So about a month later, I get invited out to dinner by someone who I hadn't seen in like 15 years, who I barely even knew. And normally I would decline offers like that, but for some reason I just felt like it was the right thing to do. So I accepted his invitation. We ended up having an amazing 5-hour conversation at Rawtopia. Had a great time, great connection. The next morning he texted me a couple links saying, "Hey, I think you'd like this artist, East Forest." I'm vibing out in my morning routine. I open up YouTube. The first song that he sent me was a song called Toad Lick, which is the instrumental for my song Be Here Now that you're about to hear. I immediately fell in love with the song. Immediately lyrics just started flooding the page without me even thinking about it, without me really trying at all. And I knew it was one of the most beautiful pieces of music that I had ever written, just because of the feeling that it gave me as I was writing it. I was just like, yo, this is coming from the heart and soul. There's so much music that I try to make that is really good, but a part of it's coming from the ego of what I think other people are gonna like, or what I think is gonna impress other people, or maybe maybe just not coming from quite as deep of a place. So I knew that there was something special about this song, and I didn't finish writing it, but I had some decent lyrics, and I was excited about it. So I continued on, listening to Ram Dass and listening to East Forest and, being on my journey. And then I go down to the Boulder Mountain Guest Ranch in southern Utah to host a workshop and perform a show. The first day in the studio down there, I notice a small stack of 5 or 6 vinyl records. I grab them, and the first one that I see is a signed East Forest vinyl. I said, wow, I never heard of East Forest before. I just barely got shown him. That's crazy that this vinyl's here. I just thought that was a huge synchronicity. I then have the workshop the next day, and the owner of the ranch, one of the owners, Ron, walks in and he's wearing an East Forest shirt. I said, wow, I like your shirt, man. I just barely heard of East Forest. Never knew about him, but I just actually started writing a song to one of his instrumentals, and it's one of my favorite songs I've written lately. And he's like, oh, no shit, that's crazy. East Forest is a good friend. Yeah, he records a lot of his albums down here. I'd love to show you this new stuff that he's done with Ram Dass. And I was like, what, Ram Dass? I just had this crazy dream with Ram Dass. Turns out that East Forest just spent like a month or two in Hawaii with Ram Dass right before he passed, interviewing him, and he made an amazing album, which is all Ram Dass talking over East Forest music, and it's just quite beautiful. And I was blessed to be able to listen to some of it while I was at the ranch. And later that night, we're having dinner at the ranch, and I tell Ron about this Ram Dass experience, about how Ram Dass was hovering above me, levitating in lotus position, and told me that everyone is me, and dreams are similar to like DMT trips. I guess they are kind of DMT trips. So you remember so much when you first come out, and then as time goes on, different parts of the dream or the memory starts to fade a little bit, so it's important to write it down. But I remembered that he turned into like millions of versions of himself, and he was just telling me that everyone is me and everyone's a mirror for me, and then all the universe turned into just like billions of mirrors pointing in every direction. And it was a really profound visual to help me grasp the concept that I had been intellectually understanding for a while of like everyone is a mirror and everyone is me. And when I was in Hawaii, our friend Allison, like a year before this, was like cheers and mirrors. So like intellectually I've been understanding the concept of everyone being a mirror and everyone being one, and it's God energy embodied as like trillions upon trillions of different beings. And so intellectually I've been grasping that, but Ram Dass really helped me see it in a visual way and understand it in my heart and really know it. So it was really profound how I have this dream the night that he passes, and then I go out to dinner and this guy shows me East Forest, and then I write the song kind of just about all these concepts to the East Forest instrumental. Then I go to the ranch, and there's East Forest vinyl, and they know East Forest, and East Forest makes his music there. And it's just all so synchronistic and so magical. And the more you're aware of that magic, the more you recognize the presence of grace and recognize the serendipity, the more life starts to flow like that. And when you're truly in alignment, truly in the flow, life is just one magical moment after the next. You feel inspired to go to a certain coffee shop or to say yes to a certain thing, and then it leads you to the next thing, and it leads you to the next thing. And now I'm getting introduced to East Forest, and might even become friends with him. He seems like a really cool guy. I just heard his interview on the Aubrey Marcus podcast, which was another synchronicity, because Aubrey Marcus podcast is probably my favorite podcast, or at least one of them. And it was cool to hear them talking a lot about psychedelics and DMT and ayahuasca and all these things, and mushrooms, because those are all things that I've been studying and researching and experimenting with myself. So it's like when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. I became ready, the teachers appeared, and then I took the inspired action and I said yes to the opportunities that presented themselves, and it just led to one synchronicity after another and brought me to a beautiful place to where I made what I think is one of the most beautiful songs I've ever made. And last night I posted a little demo of me rapping part of the verse on my Facebook story, and I woke up with a lot more replies than I normally get. Normally, if I post a rap on there, I might get like a dozen or so people throwing some fire emojis or some hearts or, saying that it's dope. For some reason, I woke up with like 20, 30 something messages of people really feeling this one. And so I was like, okay, this is obviously aligned. It's obviously resonating with people because it's coming from such a place of truth. And it was just so cool when I was explaining this dream to Ron when we were having dinner, and he said, because he's met Ram Dass as well, and he said, Burnell, that wasn't a dream. That was a visit. So without further ado, I want to go ahead and share a world premiere sneak preview, just a little snippet of my new song, Be Here Now. This is a super rough home recording. It's unmixed, it's unmastered, and the final version will be much more polished with possibly another guest verse on there. I hope you love it as much as me.
I breathe until my soul fed at ease, exploring endless possibilities. My own thoughts are hitting me. My throat box is spitting freestyles from the heart. Even smile when it's hard, cause blessings often come in disguise. I learned to march to the beat of my own drum. I speak of my own tongue, cause a crack in the concrete, perfect place to grow a rose from. Like Tupac, my moonshot ain't too far, let's get it. Take big steps to write love, no shoebox can fit it. Only fit inside a boombox, my true thoughts, I spit it. Yo, I'm too hot for a moonbox on a rooftop and lit it. With eyes closed and heart open, I'm blasting through the universe. From the micros to the macros, still searching for the truth, and it hurts. But then it sets you free, learning how to love is all we truly ever need. So be right here with me. Now is all we got, life is nothing but a dream. So be right here with me.